Well, welcome to our March 26th Weld County School District 6 School Board meeting. This meeting will now come to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt.
Present.
Mr. Hafley.
Present.
Mr. Lydiak.
Present.
Mr. Matthews.
Present.
Ms. Pappas.
Present.
Dr. Richard.
Present.
Ms. Solis.
Present.
7 members present.
Thank you, ma'am. Under Board of Education President announcements, I just want to point out springtime's a tough time. Everybody's looking at getting their jobs done and working especially hard, and we've seen some situations in our district where teachers and support staff have really had to reach out and help one another out, and we're certainly grateful for all of those folks who are standing tall in the community, and we want everyone to know we'll get better. Things get better. We usually talk about our 3 primary missions as part of our mission statement. A little submission statement is that we want to engage, empower, and inspire. And under the picture of empowering, tonight we'll be illuminating a little bit of information about some expenditures brought to us by the voters of Greeley and Evans, who said yes to a mill levy override to permit us to make some real headway on some projects that have been waiting quietly in the back of the closet for years. And so I hope that when you hear about some of the things that we are engaged in as promised once this mill levy override was passed, I think you'll be satisfied to see that the district is going exactly in the direction that we promised we would be going with those monies. So that's empowering us to do those things. We're engaging in some pretty hefty expenditures, and it's a requirement to show where all that money came from and where all that money goes. And I want to point out that one of the things that's helped us engage is a finance observation group, a department that keeps track of our monies, that was mentioned in the Greeley Tribune as being an award recipient for financial transparency, which says they open their books and let everybody see where everything's going, which is, it's nice that it's required by law, but it's also nice that we're doing that. And to receive that award, Ms. Sponsler, we thank you and your staff once again. It's not the first time that you were rewarded for your work in this rodeo, but we continue to thank you for your professional success. And Inspire, I do think many of us would take a look at the March for Our Lives, where students are really talking about their orientation toward their own future and their own present, and making their feet touch the street and putting their understanding of civics to work daily. This is a good time for us, and we're anxious to support those students as they're trying to support us to make schools safe and to put a focus on the future for them. So we're coming at the springtime, and there's a lot of things going on, but our staff has shown itself to be very supportive of these really important things. The next item is the hearing of persons desiring to speak before the Board of Education. And I have not heard that there's anyone who wants to talk to us. I don't blame you, but thank you for thinking about it. We'll talk maybe next time. On the next item is the work session report. Ms. Crane, you have that.
Board of Education President Roger DeWitt began the work session with comments and updates from board members and then proceeded to review the calendar of upcoming events and future agenda items. The board discussed which graduation ceremonies they would attend and then received a legislative update from Dr. Pilch and Ms. Sponsler. Chief Financial Officer Megan Sponsler provided an update on the construction at Meeker Elementary, and that concluded the work session.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Pilch, I think it's your turn. Talk a little bit about the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt.
I want to give a little update first on some business around the mill levy override, which you referenced in your comments too, Mr. DeWitt. But we had our first meeting this past week with the Citizens Oversight Committee. I'll just remind you all, this committee is made up of 8 individuals who range from being independent business owners in our community to a parent, to a former assistant superintendent from another school district, so lots of representation and a nice diverse group of folks. We've got a banker on there, a retired CPA on there, and they were selected by members of the Business Advisory Council that works with me, and then members of our District Accountability Committee. So very excited to have that group come together and to begin their work of really monitoring our spending, and they did plan their next meeting for June, at which point we'll be able to come back to them and really talk about what we've purchased so far this year and then the purchasing plan for the next school year. I've been making my way around to our schools and giving updates on the mill levy override spending. It's gone really well. I've really enjoyed being in the buildings with the teachers. Lots of good questions. Still lots of questions about shortages of substitute teachers and shortages of bus drivers, which are still 2 really complex problems we have yet to solve. But we're going to keep working on it. We have a couple of committees working on that with us. Then I want to share that on the agenda tonight, you'll see the filtration system for our technology department. You have to have cool air where all the servers are stored and where that equipment, the head end room where that equipment begins to run the mission of this large school district of over 30 schools and 23,000 students. And so you'll see the filtration system on there tonight, and you'll also see on our consent agenda tonight the approval of the bid for the security cameras at Greeley West High School, Northridge High School, Greeley Central High School, and Jefferson High School. So that work will begin also as soon as these bids are awarded. So I wanted to point those out to you, both big mill levy override spending. And then I too want to say congratulations to our finance department for receiving state recognition for their transparency and their quality work that they do. So, you know, every time Megan says to me, well, the auditors, you know, she's making sure that we're doing all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing every single day in terms of finances. So I want to take just a minute and talk about this last week here in District 6. Those of you who are staff members and parents in our community, you received an email from me last night. And I was sharing in that email that over the past week in 3 separate incidents, we've had 3 of our high school students take their own lives, it would seem. And I say it would seem because, of course, the coroner has to rule and those pieces. But every indication is that we lost a student at Greeley West High School and a student at Greeley Central High School and a student at Northridge because their hurt and pain was so great. So, you know, I just want to remind everyone that every single day we welcome over 20,000 students into our buildings. And we know that there's still more we can do for those students. We know there's still more we can do. And one of the pieces, as you all know, in our strategic plan, under meeting the needs of all students and personalizing learning for all students has been to ensure that every staff member is trained in trauma prevention and to recognize children who've experienced trauma in their life and to have instructional practices and behaviors in the classroom that are responsive to that trauma. And in our strategic plan is to ensure that every single building has a team that is trained as a crisis response team, and that every building has people trained in what is called mental health first aid. We've been doing work district-wide around, especially at the high school level, to train staff around suicide prevention and intervention. And you know what? It's still not enough, because we lost 3 students this past week. So it's not enough. And I know that it's not just the work of the school district to do. I know that it's community work as well, and I know our community is stricken by this grief just as our school district is. And so I guess my plea tonight is that we will continue as a community and with our community partners and as a district staff and with families, we will continue to have the conversation about what else it is that we can do to take care of the children who we have, the little bitty children and the big children. And to continue to talk about how our kids are doing. And so my call out tonight is that if you or if someone you know is not okay, is struggling, is in pain, is having suicidal or homicidal thoughts, that you will reach out. And we have resources on our district website. The schools have lots of resources. North Range Behavioral is an amazing partnership with us here in our community. And they have a 24-hour hotline. And so I guess what I'm asking is that we talk to somebody, and we talk to somebody who can do something if we know of someone who is in significant crisis and pain. And you know, the other thing I would say is that we should all just trust our gut. We should trust our instincts. If we think somebody who we know and somebody who we care about is not okay, we should trust that. And in our schools and in our community, there are lots of people who you can tell that to and who will respond and help you. And I would hope that we would all do that and to trust when we think somebody isn't okay. And again, I just, I want to thank our community for the tremendous support that they give us every single day to make sure our students and our staff are okay. And we have more work to do. Thank you.
Dr. Pilch, thank you, ma'am. Well, the next item is the approval of the agenda. And I would have to accept a motion to consider this item, so I'd be glad to hear one at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Comments or questions about the approval of the agenda? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item is the consent agenda. That motion is required for consideration of this item also.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves items as presented on the consent agenda and authorizes the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
Thank you both. Comments or discussion on this particular matter? Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Pilch, the next item is a pretty nice one.
It is
I'm
a
going to turn
nice
this one
one.
over to you. We'll all smile.
Thank you.
This is a classified employee of the year.
Yes, this is a big deal. And we get to celebrate a little bit. And there's a lot of people here tonight because this is a big deal. And this is especially a big deal because, well, you'll see why it's a big deal. So I'm going to invite up Amy Rotuno. Amy is, her first job is to be office manager at Scott Elementary School. Secretary at Scott Elementary School, but her other job is to be president of our classified association. And I see she has her pal, Brian Dunbar, with her. He can't really get too far away from the classified council, can you, Brian? The former president. So I'm going to turn this over to you two to make a big deal of this tonight.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pilch. It is a really big deal, and it's so exciting to see all these people here. I'm thrilled. Thank you, Dr. Pilch and members of the Board of Education. It's my pleasure and my honor to be here tonight to celebrate some amazing employees of District 6. These classified employees are our bus drivers, our custodial staff, our nutrition workers, our office managers, health clerks, many other positions, transportation workers. They are crucial to the success of District 6, I'm sure you'll agree. Over 50 classified employees were nominated for Outstanding Classified Employee of the Year. Please join me in congratulating the following people, and as I call your name, if you are here, we would love you to come up and receive your certificate. And let's hold our applause until the end, because I see there are a lot of people here, and I'm really grateful. These are our nominees for Outstanding Classified Employee of the Year: Joaquin Morado, Joel Severns, Michelle Dempsey, Jose Godoy, John Shaler, Daryl Husby, Lene Howell, Maria Arasiga, Victor Heffel, Chad Hawley, Rebecca O'Hearn. Yay! Thank you for being here. Marilyn Nally, Jessica Puente, Sean Dixon, Erica Romero, Cindy York, Leslie Nielsen, Deborah Gonzalez, Shauna Holzmeister, Lisa McLaughlin, David Morgan, Sandra Estrada, Melissa Torres, Martha Rascon, Jesse Middleton, Chloe Russell, Christina Scovati. Am I going too fast? Monica Salazar, Maria Chaparro, Olga Perrin, Ray Caves, Shauna Stinnett, Robert Otto, Eric Simmons, my apologies, Janie Ramos, Sandy Eichenow, Diane Darbin, Jessica Duran, Elsa Cox, Norca Camacho Perez, Diane Elkins, Sylvia Elias, Lucia Cruz, Stacy Moore, Charles Engler, Sally Armenta.
Time to get those cameras up here, you guys. Come take your pictures. Come on up. You can come up and get a close-up. Come on now, let's embarrass them a little. It's a big moment, you guys. There's a paparazzi everywhere.
You're famous. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Everything you do. So as a classified council, we had the very daunting task of narrowing down, all anonymously, narrowing down our field and presenting back to our council about 10 of our candidates, and then choosing from those 10 the one that we agreed on to be our representative of Outstanding Classified Employee of the Year. And This year it was, we didn't have to do a tiebreaker or anything, which we were thankful for. It was very overwhelming. So I, at this time, would like to ask Abraham Rascon to join us up here, and I'll tell you a little bit of information about Abraham. So this is some information that Abe shared about himself. He's been employed by District 6 for 3 years. He started off as a floater custodian at Meeker, and within 3 weeks, he became the night lead. He was born in Denver, and he moved to Greeley when he was 5 years old, so he's a proud product of District 6. He attended Jackson, Ann K. Hyman, Chapelo, Greeley West, and he graduated from Jefferson High School in 2014. And shortly after graduating, Abe was hired by District 6. A very good hire, I might add. Abe, his twin sister, and his parents live in Greeley. And in his free time, he likes to longboard on the Pooter Trail, and he likes to work on cars. Abe thinks that working for District 6 is a great opportunity. He finds everyone friendly, and he especially enjoys working with the kids. He was nominated by Shauna Holzmeister, a fellow nominee. When asked why she nominated Abe for this honor, Shauna had this to say: "We went through all this flooding at Meeker, and we had to figure it out. Abe worked 11 to 2 covering lunch duty, and then he came back 3 to 11:30 to cover his regular shift. On Fridays, he'd put away carts so that the church was ready for Saturday. He did all of this without arguing or whining, and then he turned right around and did the opposite on Sunday night to get everything ready for school again on Monday. He really took hold, and he did the job. He satisfied Meeker administration as well as the church. So we want to thank Abraham Rascon for exemplifying an outstanding classified employee. District 6 is truly fortunate to have you as an employee." Thank you.
Congratulations, and thanks everybody for everything you do every day.
So awesome.
Award-winning action here. Thank you. Well, Dr. Pilch, the next item on our list is the Greeley Art Commission, and I think some of us have a cartoon book just to get ready to go.
We do. Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. And I just want to say to our audience, before I call Sandy up, that I know some of you have worked a very long day, or you're on your dinner break right now to be here. So feel free to go ahead and take off. But I want you to know how much we appreciate you. You are a critical element to everything we do every single day for children in District 6. And we could not run the kind of business we run here without all of our classified staff. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you.
I think what Dr. Pilch is trying to say is the next part of this might not be as exciting as the part you were just in on. So feel free to stick around. There's no popcorn, but you're welcome to stay.
So, Mr. DeWitt, as you know, art is a big element in our community here in Greeley-Evans and in District 6. And the Greeley Art Commission, I think for 5 years or more, has actually granted to us over 2,000 copies of a coloring book. And, they're passing their copies down to me because they know I have this little great niece and great nephew who will enjoy these coloring books in my home. But I am pleased to introduce Sandy Magnuson to come up and to talk a little bit more about this and to do an official presentation to District 6. Welcome, Sandy.
Oh, there are more here, too.
Okay.
So to Dr. Pilch, President DeWitt, each one of you, and the rest of you as well, and I'd like to echo congratulations to all of the folks who were honored tonight. thanks for just a few minutes of agenda time so I can perhaps show off the coloring books that, yes, this is our 5th year. We do this to commemorate Youth Art Month, also the extensive public art collection in Greeley, and the wonderful art education in our district at all levels. We deliver to each school enough coloring books for each 3rd grader. And occasionally special friends who have nieces and nephews contact us and ask for an extra. We never, ever discuss how that happens, but happy to visit with you. So as I prepared my comments tonight, I realized I'd not been a professor for 10 years. And I just had this urge to give a test. And then I even had the questions that I would ask. And so the first one was, can you name the 3 forms of art? Don't worry, the answer is on page 9. And then I found I have another question about literacy. What does kinetic mean? And there's a good clue about that on page 7, I think, or 5, one of the 2. And I could also ask you local history, who were the Greeley Grays, and you'll get a good clue on that on page 5. And so we really do prepare the coloring books as educational tools for the children in 3rd grade. And typically they like them, but we find that adults do as well. So I want to point out that the coloring books are just one of many collaborative projects shared by the district and the city of Greeley. And thank you for participating in those collaborative activities. There are many. You know them as well as I, maybe better. I also want to thank you individually for all you do to be sure the children in our district have every opportunity to learn, be safe, be nurtured, and cared for in every way. So thanks a bunch.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much. And I put my crayons somewhere here, and I haven't found them, but we'll get to work on this right away. Thank you so much. Well, the next item that's exciting for all of us, Dr. Pilch, is an item headlined Project Teacher Find. And I think that's kind of up to you.
Well, I will tell you, we have 3 young people to recognize tonight who've been identified for Project Teacher Find. And Mrs. Overton, Annette Overton, our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, oversees this program, and she'll give you more information. But I just want to start before I pass it off to her and say, this may be more important than it ever has been, because we know that we are facing a shortage of teachers nationally. Our nation, there's fewer and fewer young people going into education in our country and in the state of Colorado. And we are finding you while you are still with us, before you can get very far away from us. And we're saying we hope you will be a teacher one day in District 6. So Mrs. Overton, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch. Good evening, President DeWitt and members of the board. I am pleased to present to you our Project Teacher Find scholarship recipients. Project Teacher Find is a collaborative, grow-your-own effort between UNC and District 6 as identified in Innovation 2020 to develop and recruit high school students into promising teachers. The scholarship provides funding each year to future District 6 teacher candidates, and high school students are recommended by their counselors, and applications are screened by a scholarship committee composed of District 6 and UNC faculty. Candidates must maintain at least a 2.75 GPA to be eligible for continued support. This evening we are honoring 3 Project Teacher Find Scholarship Award winners, and these students have worked hard throughout high school and will give just as much effort in college. We look forward to them shaping the lives of District 6 students in the future. Please join me in honoring the following students. Mariah Rodriguez. Why don't you come on up? Mariah is the daughter of Will and Debbie Rodriguez at Greeley Central. She is busy with National Honor Society, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or Christian Students, and the Arts Magnet Program with a vocal emphasis. Outside of school, Mariah loves to volunteer her time with the choir students at Billy Martinez and is active with her church. She enjoys playing guitar and singing, and she cherishes time spent with her family. Despite once being a shy young girl who never could have imagined being a teacher, thanks to music and her faith, Mariah now aspires to be a choir teacher in District 6, where she can use her voice and the arts to help the next generation find their passion and confidence. Mariah, thank you. And see, the next candidate is Cielo Ramos. Come on out. Cielo is the daughter of Bertha and Salvador Ramos. At Greeley Central, she is currently involved in National Honor Society as an at-large officer, DECA, Link Crew, Student Council, and is Secretary of the League of United Latin American Citizens. Cielo, some of Cielo's hobbies include singing and creating art. Cielo seeks to pursue a K-12 art education major at UNC with a minor in mathematics. After graduating UNC, she plans to be employed with District 6 and pursue her master's in teaching. Cielo's positive attitude always makes the best of every situation. Thank you, Cielo. And Eric Hernandez. Eric is the son of Humberto and Martha Hernandez. Eric is from Central High School and is also involved in the Greeley Dream Team, AVID, and football at Greeley Central. Outside of school, he enjoys being outdoor with friends and family, cherishing time together while fishing, playing activities, and going on road trips. Eric also enjoys helping younger athletes improve their selected sports. At UNC, Eric will be pursuing a degree in physical education. Afterward, he aspires to be a PE teacher. Eric is proud of his work ethic, his positive attitude, and his ability to get along well with everyone, regardless of the background. He loves encouraging and helping others. Thank you, Eric.
This is a great time to get a picture. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and we wish you success as you continue your education endeavors to shape the lives of future generations.
Congratulations.
Good showing from Central.
Good showing from Central.
Well, the next items on the agenda are very, very exciting, especially if you like to read about government and civics. But I think many of you should go home and do your homework. This is a great time to escape, for those of you who don't want to see what we're up to in changing policy and procedure. But you've been warned now, so if you stick around, you know, your slumber is on you.
I think those future teachers are thinking they better stick around and
Maybe
see what
they should
this is
see
all
what we're
about.
up to. Maybe that's not a bad
That's right.
idea. It's been a good night. Thanks, you guys, very much.
Thank you.
Well, the next item is the repeal and first read of policy GDAA, Title I, Paraprofessionals. And this is an information item, Dr. Pilch.
Yes, so we are recommending a repeal of the GDAA. As a result of the Every Student Succeeds Act, this policy is no longer relevant. This policy fell under the No Child Left Behind Act, which is no more.
This also fell, yeah. Well, thanks for that. We'll act on that the next time around. The next item is revisions to policy AD, the school district mission. And this is an action item, and I'd be glad to accept a motion from a board member.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the revisions to policy AD, school district mission as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. My angle on this, as I recall, is that we've done some work ourselves on our strategic mission, and this material hasn't caught up yet.
That's correct.
Is that accurate?
That's a great way to say it.
Okay.
Probably enough said.
Okay. So with our Vision 2020, we just kind of eclipsed this, and we haven't caught up with our own action. So this is finally the shadow catching up with the body of the board. Are there comments or questions from the board members? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Crane?
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item, revision to policy ADA, school district education objectives. This is going to require a motion for us to consider.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the revisions to policy ADA, school district educational objectives as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Dr. Pilch, I think this is another catch-up act. I'm not sure if I'm right on that, but a similar situation.
Very minor changes here, just a couple of wording pieces that are part of the Fair Credit Reporting Act requirements.
Be glad to hear a discussion or comments. I'm not seeing the board light up at this time, so let's go ahead with roll call. Ms. Crane, please.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item is a revision to policy GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of instructional staff and contract non-renewal. This is an action item. I'd be glad to hear a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the revisions to policy GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of instructional staff and contract non-renewal as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Dr. Pilch, you need to give us a little reminder maybe here.
I apologize, Mr. DeWitt. I misspoke on the last policy.
Oh.
So just to clarify, ADA, the previous revision was again catching up on our
okay.
education
So I might have been
goals. I
accidentally
apologize.
right. Okay.
This is the policy that is, the changes are required as part of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I apologize.
It's okay. We've had the chance to read through this,
Yes.
and so I don't think anyone's shocked. Other comments or questions from board on this? Let's try a roll call, Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Now, this next item is an action item. I'd be glad to receive a motion. It is, in effect, revisions to policy IKF, graduation requirements and regulation, IKF R2, graduation requirements, demonstration of competencies.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the revisions to policy IKF, graduation requirements, and regulation IKF R2, graduation requirements, demonstration of competencies as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. We've been on a mission in the state of Colorado to demonstrate our kids know things that we've taught them. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of those moments where we take a look at what constitutes evidence that these students have learned what they need to learn. Dr. Pilch, am I close?
You are very close.
Okay.
What you have here, so what is substantive here is that we are pulling out the specific items that meet the graduation requirements out of the actual policy and moving them over to regulation. And the reason we are doing that is because, as we know, the state of Colorado, this is a moving target, and they continue to make changes, and by putting it in regulation, that allows us to make those changes without bringing them back to you every single time. Now, of course, if there's a substantial change, we will bring that to you. The other piece here is just some language that has come to us too from the state as well, that allows us on a transfer student for us to actually evaluate their previous work in the same way we would evaluate the work of one of our students who has been with us throughout their high school career, and then make a designation of whether or not they meet the high school graduation requirements. But what's most important for you all to know here is that the work that we did with the Graduation Guidelines Committee a couple of years ago and brought to you all for approval last year, and then again, or that year and then again last year, those requirements are still here in the policy and still hold true in terms of the rigorous requirements that are required not only in District 6 but throughout the state of Colorado for a student to be a graduate from one of our high schools.
Okay. Additional questions or comments, observations by board members? Having had a chance to read through this, roll call. Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item is the Graduates Initiative Update, and this is an information item. Dr. Pilch.
Thank you. As a part of our strategic plan, Innovation 2020, a big piece of this is the work of the Graduates Initiative, which Dr. Hannaford will give you an overview of. Lots of good news in this report, as well as exciting next steps that you will see being implemented in District 6. So I welcome Dr. Rhonda Hannaford, our Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pilch and school board members, for this opportunity. Initiative, which is driven by high school and middle school counselors and administrators, is working hard to reach our district strategic goal that by the class of 2021, 90% of our students are graduating on time and are both career and college ready. Specifically, we are driven by 3 goals or 3 metrics, which is to increase our on-time graduation rate from 77.1% to 90%, to decrease the dropout rate from 3.4% to 1.5%, and to increase our post-secondary enrollment rate from 41% to 60%, all by the class of 2021, and those are our current freshmen. Our work is already evident in on-time graduation rates increasing since 2015 from 76.9% to 78.7% in 2017. This bar graph depicts how our students' graduation rates, which are in blue, outperform the state's graduation rates. Specifically, our students outperform the state in several demographic areas, including white, Hispanic, gifted and talented, economically disadvantaged, limited English, homeless, and migrant. And I have some exciting news to share here. With generous support from AT&T, America's Promise awarded District 6 a Grad Nation Acceleration Grant to support the Greeley Alternative Program, GAP's efforts to increase graduation rates. This grant provides $100,000 over 2 years to increase graduation rates and further prepare students to be career and college ready. The grant will provide support to establish career pathway courses through concurrent enrollment, develop internships and work-based learning opportunities, and support students and families with wraparound services. The Graduates Initiative also successfully launched a secondary multi-tiered system of support referred to as MTSS in this past fall of 2016. We hired 8 counselors through the School Counselor Core Grant, and we implemented an early warning monitoring system where we address attendance, behaviors, grades, and credits so that immediate interventions may occur, keeping students on track. Although we only began the secondary model this past fall, the Colorado Department of Education and America's Promise Alliance have recognized our MTSS model as an exemplar system, and tomorrow, actually, we will have the opportunity to share our D6 model in a national webinar where we will be sharing with over 200 participants across the nation what we're doing. As a result of using our MTSS model and addressing the needs of students to further ensure on-time graduation rates, we had a significant decrease in students who dropped out of school in 2017. Our dropout rate decreased 1.1%, and that represents 111 less dropouts. This past fall, we also opened the Career and College Prep Program to further support students who were near dropping out or had already dropped out of school. In partnership with Zero Dropouts, 102 students who would have dropped out of school have now re-engaged and are pursuing both concurrent enrollment college courses through Ames Community College alongside their GED, so that upon graduation, they are both career and college ready. Thus far, 8 students have completed the GED, and 14 of them are enrolled or have earned Ames Community College credit. As the Graduates Initiative works to reach a 90% on-time graduation rate, we are working to increase our students' post-secondary enrollment rates in 2- and 4-year colleges, with the goal to reach 60% by 2021. We had a 5% increase from 2016 to 2017, and we have set specific action steps to increase this percent for the class of 2018. For instance, we know that completion of the FAFSA form is one of the top indicators as to whether or not a student is going to continue to post-secondary learning after graduation. So with the class of 2017, we had an 8.12% increase in students completing the FAFSA form. This increase was pretty significant, and it was recognized by the Colorado Department of Education, and D6 was awarded recognition as the fastest suburban urban district FAFSA completion growth in 2017. In addition, with the support of Bright Futures, 473 students received a scholarship to pursue post-secondary options. With the support of the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative, oftentimes referred to as COSI, this COSI grant, we received in 2016 with the support of the Success Foundation, we supported 200 Latino seniors at Greeley Central High School to access college. This 2-year grant funds a post-secondary advisor to supplement the work of the counseling department and help students with FAFSA completion, applying to college, scholarship writing, and following students after they graduate through summer to make sure that they are enrolled appropriately and they show up ready to go in August at their colleges. In partnership with the University of Northern Colorado, college access coaches are provided to 5 district high schools, Greeley Central, Greeley West, Northridge, Jefferson High, and Early College Academy. The college access coaches support seniors with completing that FAFSA form, college and scholarship applications, college housing, and overall college advisement. With the support of our Assistant Director of Career Technical Education and Student Support Services, we expanded our partnership with Ames Community College and Metro University to credential our teachers to teach career technical concurrent enrollment courses, resulting in last year 4 teachers being credentialed and another 7 teachers this year being credentialed. These 11 teachers provide CTE concurrent enrollment courses in 6 different career pathways: construction, business, marketing, ProStart, health sciences, and STEM. As a result, last year we had 101 students earn an industry certificate. Providing students college courses through concurrent enrollment is another top indicator determining students' pursuit of post-secondary options. As we have increased concurrent enrollment courses, we have also increased participation within them, resulting in an increase of 330 students in 2016 to 585 in 2017. We also saw a significant increase from fall of this year of 2017 to spring, with 165 more students enrolling in this second semester. With the support of the Business and Community Partnership Administrator, we continue to recruit business leaders to host interns. This year's goal is to have 125 interns. We are currently above that goal at 134 students ready to do summer internships. And we brought on another 13 new businesses for a total of 37 businesses participating in our Career Explorer internship program. And so as the Graduates Initiative continues to pursue increasing graduation rates and decreasing dropout rates and increasing our post-secondary enrollment rates, we're looking really carefully at how we're connecting our resources and our initiatives across our district. So everything from the COSI grant to the School Counselor Core grant, our MTSS grant, the great Dream Team that we have, Gear Up, and now we have Avid K-12 in our system with the support of the MLO. Each of these is now getting closer to working together and aligning our efforts so that we further accelerate our progress on these goals. And of course, we have many next steps. These are just the top 10. So goal 1, as I mentioned, is that every senior completes the FAFSA form and at least one college application. Our second goal is to expand our summer internship opportunities. We are in the process of developing an apprenticeship program. We are also developing teacher externships in priority pathways. We are going to continue to implement our district-level sector advisory boards. And we're in the process of developing a future center at 2 high schools with the support of the COSI grant. We are working hard to align the AVID K-12 initiative to our Graduates Initiative. They go right along with each other. We are in the process of developing a K-12 career and college campaign that would not only work with young students, but also their families to have them have information about what are those career opportunities and college access paths that are available for them, such as Bright Futures. We are already extending our summer school through the school year and the extended day with the support of the MLO. And we are in the process of developing an advanced manufacturing pathway. Manufacturing is one of the top industries in our northern Colorado region, and we don't have that pathway. So that's a little bit of a deficit that we're working hard to correct. Okay. I'm happy to help answer any questions that you might have.
Wow. Give us a minute to breathe.
I know, I spoke a little fast, sorry.
This is really thrilling. Dr. Richards.
So that is an amazing grouping of programs that we have for our students. Tell us more, oh, now I've lost it, the Future Centers?
Futures Academy.
What are those? And then a little follow-up on the manufacturing piece as well, a timeline on when students might be seeing that become available.
So we're hoping to open a Future Center at Central and as well at West with the support of the COSI grant, which is that Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative that would allow us to hire a post-secondary advisor for students. And very similar to what Central has right now. We want to keep that program going and further launch it at West. And so what the individual does is a Future Center, you create a space where kids can come, parents can come, colleges come, businesses come, and they learn together about the amazing things, and many of those amazing things are in their backyard, all the different post-secondary opportunities. So the college access coaches can work one-on-one with students there or with their families, help students complete their FAFSA form, help them research all the different scholarships that are available to students. It goes on and on. Everything about post-secondary attainment happens in this beautiful environment of, and I say it's beautiful in that by creating a space you honor, that is important to the students and to the community. And so we're hoping with the support of this grant, we'll be able to do that.
With access to the internet. So students actually come there to do the FAFSA and the scholarship application and the college application. So it's a lot of that work that has traditionally gone on in the school counselor office, but this is actually a space dedicated to preparing students for their future and all those nuts and bolts that go along with that.
And then I believe your second question was on the timeline for the advanced manufacturing pathway. So we have our plan in place. We're hoping to launch the beginning stages of that pathway this next school year, starting at Central. So we're partnered with Ames, and they are helping us develop the correct courses so that they will feed nicely into Ames manufacturing program. They have a great facility there. And so there will be some launching courses that we hope to start at Central next school year for students, ideally ending with either Ames certificates and or industry certificates in that pathway. And we're also partnered with the NOCO Advanced Manufacturing Talent and Rocks business sector, who is making sure and coming alongside us that what we're creating makes sense for their business industry.
So I should give you a little more detail on that, since you asked. And there's a lot more to come on this, but it looks like the city of Greeley will very likely be dedicating a couple $100,000 to help us to further develop this. So I think that the city manager may still have to take that to his council for approval in their budget revision, but his plan is to be able to further support this programming at Greeley Central. The other piece that Dr. Hannaford didn't tell you is that she has been working diligently on a grant application with the Daniels Foundation. And it is very likely that we will also be awarded some additional grant dollars for the renovation of the space. Because not only do we need those courses, but we actually need space in which to do advanced manufacturing kinds of work. So in the mill levy override, that work is actually 2 years out. So dollars from where dollars are sitting right now for security cameras and phone system, those are the dollars that would begin to shift to programming like this. But we may be able to accelerate it if these grants come through. We feel like we're going to be able to accelerate it with starting at least those entry-level courses initially. But the space piece is a big deal, and as you can imagine, to implement a program like this is about $600,000 total.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lydiak.
Yes, I have a quick question. I mean, it's impressive and exciting to see the increase in the concurrent enrollments. My question is, in that almost doubling for spring of 2018, where does ECA come in under that?
So these numbers do not represent ECAs.
At all, okay.
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we are built out fully at ECA. With this being the first graduating class, we're not going to see a significant increase in college course enrollment. Maybe some, but not a significant number there. They're pretty stable now that, you know, they're at with 4 classes, 9 through 12.
Congratulations and best wishes on this national webinar.
Oh, thank you.
That's kind of blow that horn and tell people what's going on. That's great, and I think reasonable. You've been given the support from a variety of sources. Turn around and help other schools who are trying to do the similar things. That's genuinely nice of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for being part of that. And everybody with an awareness of the paperwork involved in trying to apply for college. If we don't get kids to do the FAFSA, we can talk to them all day about going to college, and it won't make any difference. So congratulations on emphasizing getting that paperwork done, and let me make sure you got it done and follow through. It's kind of an early warning tracking system just for the kids who don't maybe think that it's for them, but they don't know yet, and filling out that form is going to make it easier for them to decide. So thank you for all of that. It's a pleasure to see that happen. Thank you, ma'am.
Great job.
Great. Well, the next item on our agenda is the employee benefits renewal, and we've been smiling almost all night long, and Ms. Sponsler, I hope you keep us smiling. Dr. Pilch, I'm sorry to have introduced our speaker without permission.
Thank you for doing that. Let's just bring up our Chief Financial Officer, Megan Sponsler, to take this piece of the agenda, please.
We're going to have an action item on this while you're getting ready, Ms. Sponsler, and I'd be glad to take a motion for this so that we can act on it.
I move that the Board of Education of Wall County School District 6 approves the insurance renewal as presented and authorizes the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Sponsler, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and present this bit of our work. This is a project that seems to go on and on and on forever, and so it's nice to finally have a culmination of this work put together. A lot of negotiations happen, and a lot of conversations with all of our providers happen to make this come together. I think that you will be smiling. It's still a little bit of an increase, but it's not as bad as it could be. So our recommendation is that we renew with Aetna. We maintain the same 4 plans that we have. As you may remember, we have 4 options for employees. We cover the cost of one of them. And then if employees choose to enroll in one of the other options, they can do that at their own cost. And of course, if they have dependents or spouses or anyone else on their plan, then they have to cover that cost as well. The most important thing, I think, is that our plan designs are staying the same and we are continuing with the same provider. So that makes life a lot easier for everybody. It's a lot of work when we have to change, and it's a lot for people to learn when we have to change to a new provider. So the dollars and cents of this, it costs the district $27.73 more per month per employee. It's an increase of approximately 5%. And the total cost increase is about $1 million. Now the district's portion of that is about $600,000. So that other $400,000 is what the employees will pick up. The cost to employees increases about 8.7%, and that amount can depend on whichever plan they enroll in. So it can go from $44 a month on up. The dental coverage recommendation is again to renew with Anthem, maintain the same plan that we have. We do need to increase the rates. You may remember that our dental plan is self-insured, and so when we start to see that our claims are costing a little bit more than we're collecting in premiums, we know that we have to adjust those rates. And so we've kind of held off on that for a while, but we're at that point where we do need to increase that cost. And we do cover 100% of the dental plan for employee-only coverage. For the vision coverage, we are again recommending a renewal with IMED. We've been with IMED for several years. We've had great feedback that employees appreciate the coverage that they have. This is, I think, the final year of a rate guarantee, so we might have an increase next year, but this year the rates are staying the same. And then for life insurance, Aetna is our provider for life insurance. No changes to the plan. We do expect a slight increase of about $14,000 to the district. And that life insurance policy covers employees 2 times of their annual salary up to $100,000. So that's what that coverage is. We also have a policy for some of our retirees that is still out there, and some of you may have heard about that in the past, but we will continue that option for those retirees. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, Dr. Richard, go ahead. Please.
Just to clarify, you were saying the on the medical coverage, the cost to employees increases 8.7%. But if it's just the employee, they go with the plan provided, there wouldn't?
There will be no cost increase for the plan that we cover, right?
Right. And so we're up by another $1 million, but last year was an anomaly, and
yes,
no increase in medical coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we now on that line item when it comes to insurance? How much do we spend in that area now?
That's a great question. We spend a lot. It's about
I was thinking of a number.
$1 million.
More information?
A lot. Okay.
Yeah, it's a hefty price tag. Just want to verify I have my numbers right. So in total, we spend around $12 million every year. This will bring it a little bit up to $13 million. So it's got a price tag to it.
And how many years have we been with Aetna?
This is our 4th year, will be our 4th year. Aetna has been a great partner with us and takes feedback and helps us work through issues as they arise. We have had no complaints with working with them on managing the account.
And they still provide some wellness dollars?
Yes, they do. In fact, they bumped that up this year, so we'll get a little bit more. And then they've also committed to printing for us all of our little booklets that have the benefit information in it so that we don't have to absorb that cost.
Ms. Sponsel, I think all of us are looking at that $13 million, and more than anything, I just want our employees to know that's what it costs, and that's what we're doing as part of their thank you for working for School District 6. And all of us know insurance has gone crazy over the past couple of years, so the fact that we can continue to offer a package for our employees and it And it's, you know, in addition to your salary, there's this $13 million over in the corner that's helping you out. I think it might be a good thing to remind folks. The life insurance is for everyone. They need not sign separately or do any particular activity for that.
They do need to when they enroll, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we do have open enrollment.
Okay.
So when they enroll, they do need to click on the little box that says, yes, I want to enroll in life insurance. But everyone has to go through the open enrollment process. It should be pretty simple. And if they have questions, we've got lots of people ready to help.
So there's a window for this open enrollment, and they're in it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it opens April 2nd through April 13th.
Okay, good to know.
And the benefit booklets should be delivered to schools tomorrow.
Good, okay. You know, I don't see any other comments on anyone's light or forehead, so I want to say thank you very much for, once again, representing our employees in something so vital. Thank you. Dr. Pilch, anything before we act? Okay. We've moved and seconded the acceptance of this particular package with no further conversations. Roll call, Ms. Crane?
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Delightful. Bring this news to your employees, ma'am. Thank you so very much. Well, this concludes our board meeting. See you in April. This meeting is adjourned.